Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great America Show. It's great to have you with us. Thank you so much for spending part of your day, your evening, whenever you may be joining us. We truly, greatly, and always appreciate it. It's been some time since the Marxist Dems have started their meltdown about Donald Trump sending in the National Guard and the federal government into these corrupt Democrat-run cities that just can't seem to get their acts together. D.C. is the first experiment, and the numbers have been absolutely, truly remarkable. Over 1,000 arrests since Donald Trump sending in the National Guard, hundreds of them illegal aliens who are now going to be possibly sent back to where they belong. We'll have to wait and see. But the Marxist Democrats are absolutely in disarray, and nobody could really understand why. Why would they be against Donald Trump protecting their cities? Why would they not want their citizens, the people who they are paid and elected to protect, why would they not want them to be protected? They clearly can't do the jobs on their own, which is why Donald Trump is in this situation in the first place. And Donald Trump doesn't even want to be in this situation to begin with. Take a listen.
You really want to be asked to go. You know, I hate to barge in on a city and then be treated horribly by corrupt politicians and bad politicians like a guy like Pritzker. He ought to spend more time in the gym, actually. This guy is a disaster. Gavin Newsom's a disaster. When we went, we saved Los Angeles. You wouldn't have been able to have the Olympics in Los Angeles. You're barely able to have it now. They did lose 25,000 houses to a fire that should have never occurred because they didn't let the water come down from the Pacific Northwest, which you guys don't want to write about. I had to break into the water supply to let the water down. And even now, we want more. We can have much more. It's less than half of what should be coming in. I don't know, they have a political thing about it. It's like the craziest thing I've ever seen. But I don't like going to a town, a city, place, a state, and then be criticized by some corrupt or incompetent governor where crime is rampant. Like, take a look at D.C. Crime was rampant. It was at the all-time worst. It got really bad during the Biden 4 years. And then I have a mayor stand up and say how crime has reached a 30-year low. 30-year low. People are being killed left and right, and it's not a 30-year low. Think of it. So for 11 days, there's been no murders.
Imagine that. And by the way, those crime statistics that D.C. has released are now being investigated for possible malfeasance because President Trump and his administration don't believe that they're being honest with the American people about what the numbers really are. But imagine that. These Marxist Dems like Pritzker, Waltz, absolutely losing their minds about Donald Trump protecting the American citizens. Take a listen to Waltz.
Think of how easy it would be to be a damn Republican. Oh, what should I wear today? This stupid freaking red hat. What should I say today? I don't know. Just make sure it's cruel. Who do we listen to? That guy. Oh, the felon in the White House? Yeah, listen to him and that will be fine. Now he's talking about burning flags. He's going to have flag burning or whatever because he knows there's a hell of a lot of flags with his picture on it that are going to get burned.
We'll talk about that executive order that President Trump signed yesterday about burning flags. But imagine that man. What is wrong? Thank God he is not vice president of the United States. And I think Governor Waltz has some demons in the closet and maybe he should come out of, whatever demons he's living behind in this fake life that he's living behind, because it's clear he's got this passive aggressive nature to him that no straight man has. Just my opinion on the matter. Doesn't seem like he's being truthful with himself, maybe his family as well. So that's where we sit right now. Imagine that, though, possibly having Governor Waltz as the vice president of the United States. Thank God we don't. We have a great American by the name of J.D. Vance. Take a listen to what he has to say about Donald Trump sending in the federal government to these corrupt Marxist-run cities.
Roughshod over their cities and have been for decades. Why are Democrat governors angrier about federal law enforcement helping clean up their streets than they are about the fact that those streets need to be cleaned up to begin with. It shows a real sickness in the head. And I agree with the President of the United States. I think most Democrats, rank and file, nobody likes crime. Republicans don't like crime. Democrats don't like crime. Independents don't like crime. Why are Democratic governors doing everything in their power to make crime easier to do in their cities? It doesn't make an ounce of sense to me. But, Mr. President, I appreciate you being willing to help, and I hope these governors take you up on the offer, because we should clean up all of America's streets. It's the right of every American to live in safety and comfort in their community.
That makes sense to me. The Democrats hate this country. The reason why they've allowed it to get where it's gotten. It's the reason why they got killed in the last election. They've allowed men to play in women's sports. They've allowed millions and millions of illegals to pour across our southern border to come into this country. They've allowed men to go in your daughters and your grandchildren's bathrooms. They've allowed crime to run rampant in these deep blue cities like Chicago, New York, D.C., L.A. Shall I go on? If they don't hate America, if these Marxist Democrats don't hate America, then I'm not sure what it is and what goes through their mind that's put them in this mindset that we need to allow all this crime and corruption to happen in America. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me. So going back to D.C., over 1,000 arrested, a shocking number of how many of them are illegal.
Mr. President, I think one of the most impactful statistics that you used today was of the 1,000 arrests that have happened already so far, 439 of them were illegal criminals, which means they never should have been in this country to begin with. That they were in this country, invaded over our southern border or our northern border or maritime seas, and then they committed crimes against the American people. So by getting those individuals incarcerated, we've stopped those violent crimes from happening here in the city. And sir, they do. Exactly like Stephen was talking, they have ties to cartels. They have networks across this country and other cities. So by what you're doing here is going to have a ripple effect in Miami, in Chicago, in other cities, because you're grabbing those networks and giving us information and targeting information to go and get more criminals across this country. So thank you for the work that you're doing. We have ICE and CBP, Federal Protective Services, Secret Service, HSI. All of our officers are working with all the other agencies every day here in DC, and they're so proud to have this kind of partnership. So we're so glad that you're letting them do their jobs again. And I don't know if you've heard, sir, but the recruitment campaign for ICE, when we were going to hire 10,000 new officers, we've got over 130,000 people that have applied and raised their hands and said they want to work with ICE. So no matter what the fake news says or what the media says about ICE not having support, they've got incredible support from the American people. People want to join them and help them do what they're doing to make America safe again.
Nobody believes the mainstream media anyway. Everyone knows that 90%, maybe 95, maybe 99% of the things that come out of their mouths are lies, which is why Americans are overwhelmingly tuning out the mainstream media, cable news, television, radio, and turning to alternative platforms like podcasts. They've done this to themselves. They've protected illegal aliens, namely Kilmer Abrego Garcia. You all know that household name. The Maryland man is how they describe him. Maryland man, a good man who beats his wife and kids, who was deported to El Salvador, to which the Democrats went down to El Salvador to try to get him out of there, to try to bring him back to a country that he was never welcomed in the first place, that he came illegally, broke the law to get here, so he came here a criminal. And then once he got to America, he decided that his life of crime was going to continue because he was a gangbanger and he was going to beat his wife and commit other crimes. Deported to El Salvador, released by a judge this week in America, but it's fine because he's now being deported again back to one of these safe third countries, which Donald Trump has struck a deal that anyone who's willing to take our prisoners will pay you, but get them out of this country. Take a listen to Donald Trump being asked about it.
Today, MS-13 gangbanger and human trafficker Kilmer Abrego Garcia turned himself into ICE in Baltimore. Do you have any comment on this? And why are the Democrats so emotionally attached to this man who beats his wife and is part of a terrorist organization?
because they think he's going to be good for votes, and I think he's very bad for votes. These people are deranged. He's not good for votes. He beat the hell out of his wife. His wife is afraid to even talk about him. She's been mauled by this animal. And, through a system of liberal courts, he's doing things. But, no, we have that under control. And Pam has got that very much under control. Do you want to comment on it, Pam?
No, we've got him under control. He will no longer terrorize our country. He's currently charged with human smuggling, including children. The guy needs to be in prison. He doesn't need to be on the streets like all these liberals want him to be. And as part of this operation here in D.C., we've also taken off MS-13 members. We've taken, I think just last night, we got a TDA guy off our streets right here, right around from where we all work. Another TDA member gone because of this project. So we're going to keep America safe from all of these foreign terrorist organizations, including Abrego Garcia.
Democrats want MS-13 on their streets, on our streets. Make no mistake about it, which is why they've fought for this wife beater and this gangbanger. Folks, we're going to take a quick break here and return. Much, much more to come here on the Great America Show. Stephen Miller, or we got some reaction from Stephen Miller, President Trump, signing that executive order on burning the American flag. Are more raids coming on the perpetrators of injustice in this country? The ones who went after Donald Trump and his family and anyone who was friends with him for the last 10 years. All of that and much, much more on the other side of this quick break. The Great America Show continues, folks. Please stay with us. We're coming right back.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Thanks, everybody, for staying with us here on the Great America Show. So last segment, we spoke about Americans and the right that we have to be safe and feel safe in our country, in our states, in our homes, in our towns. And the Democrats vehemently against that. But it's thank God that Donald Trump has people on his team who draft legislation and work tirelessly, like Stephen Miller.
Thank you, sir. So just to, first of all, follow up on what the Vice President said. No police officer working in the city can remember a time in their lives when there has been no murders. You can work at the police department for 20 years, 30 years, your whole life. We've checked the records. No one can even find a record of being murder-free for as long as we've been murder-free under President Trump's leadership. Additionally, and the President spoke about this before, we've uncovered, in the process of uncovering, a massive scandal in Washington, D.C. with the doctoring of crime stats. And the Department of Justice, under the Attorney General, is leading the effort to uncover this. But when we ultimately share the results, it will stun you. The extent to which, even though D.C. had the worst crime in America, honestly measured, it dramatically understated how bad it was. There's even accusations that murders and homicides were reported as accidents instead of murders. I mean, this is how severe the manipulation of the crime data has been in this city, and it will all be uncovered and it will all be brought to light. I've had a chance to spend some time, as has everyone here, with the police officers in the city. Members of the public are going up to them and thanking them, just overflowing with gratitude, because for the first time in their lives, they can use the parks, they can walk on the streets. You have people who can walk freely at night without having to worry about being robbed or mugged. They're wearing their watches again. They're wearing jewelry again. They're carrying purses again. People had changed their whole lives in this city for fear of being murdered, mugged, and carjacked. It is a literal statement that President Trump has freed 700,000 people in this city who were living under the rule of criminals and thugs. And the last thing I'll say is that under the efforts of Terry, to my left and many here, what they found also is that the street criminals here in Washington, D.C. were doing business directly with the transnational criminal cartels, the foreign terrorist organizations. So not only was the city being run by these criminal thugs, but they were working with some of the most dangerous terrorist organizations on the planet to traffic weapons and drugs into this city. And what we are uncovering every day is shocking to us, and we look forward to sharing all the results with you. But President Trump, your leadership has uncovered some of the great public safety scandals of our life, and now because of you, people are safe and free for the first time ever in this city.
Brought to you all in part by the Marxist Democrats. Imagine that, folks. They wonder why they cannot win elections. They wonder why they're getting absolutely annihilated. And they're going to continue to get annihilated. And they're going to keep losing congressional seats in California and New York and all of the other deep blue Marxist-run states. And it's the reason why places like Texas are going to continue to pick up seats, and places like Florida and Ohio and Arizona, because people are tired of it. They're tired of being told what they have to do, how they have to think, what jewelry they're allowed to wear, as you heard Stephen Miller say there, what they're not allowed to wear, what they have to do to not get jumped or killed or murdered or carjacked. Don't drive your nice car. Don't wear your nice jewelry, because someone might rob you and we can't do anything about it. The wheels of justice are turning, folks. Late last week, we had a Roger Stone on the show where we discussed Lisa Cook, who's on the Federal Reserve Governor's Board. That was a lady who's, you're not going to believe this. She's been accused of partaking in mortgage fraud. Yes, another Democrat being accused of mortgage fraud. Imagine that. It seems to be the crime of the century that these people do. I guess it's pretty easy to get away with until you get a FHA director like Bill Pulte, who knows what he's doing. By the way, he's going to be with us here on the show next week. But you get a guy like Bill Pulte who knows what he's doing, a man who wants to get to the bottom of crime. And lo and behold, you find out that Adam Schiff, this lady Lisa Cook, Letitia James, big old Tish James in New York, all criminals. But Donald Trump was the criminal for overinflating his value of his properties. Imagine that. Banks don't come in and do their due diligence, just so you guys know. If you want to buy a $20 or $30 million building, you can value it at whatever you want. There's no underwriters, and the banks take your word for it. Well, that's what the courts in New York told us. That's what a judge in New York told us. Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million. You can't buy a sesame seed bagel in Palm Beach, Florida for less than $18 million. But this is what they perpetrated on us. And all the while they were doing this, the Democrats were running their own scheme. Mortgage fraud. 2 properties, 3 properties, 4 properties. Somehow they were all primary residents. Imagine that, living in 4 places at once. Oh, and in the case of this woman we're about to tell you about, Lisa Cook, who's on the Federal Reserve Board, her place was listed on Zillow for rent. She's not dumb and bold. Her place was listed on Zillow for rent just days after she signed a mortgage document that said it will be her primary residence. These people think we're dumb. And we were dumb. Not you and I, but the Republicans who have allowed this to go on for years, who have allowed the Democrats to run unchecked for years, who have allowed them to be just terrible people, doing whatever they want. No truth, no justice. It's not the American way. But the Republicans, the rhinos, have allowed it to happen. But this is a new Donald Trump. This is a new term where it's not going to be selective prosecution. It's not going to be persecutions. It's going to be getting to the bottom of the crimes that were perpetrated. They did it to Donald Trump when there was no crimes. It's time it's done to them now for the crimes that they committed under the guise that it was Donald Trump. We're all tired of it. We all sat and watched it for 10 years. And now it's their turn. And it's our turn to sit back and laugh as we watch Adam Schiff create a GoFundMe for his legal defense fund. Yeah, good old Adam Schiff. So Lisa Cook, who sits on the board of governors for the Federal Reserve, received this letter, and we'll read it to you, from the White House. Dear Governor Cook, pursuant to my authority under Article 2 of the Constitution of the United States and the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, as amended, you are hereby removed from your position on the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve effective immediately. The Federal Reserve Act provides that you be removed at my discretion for cause. I have determined there's sufficient cause to remove you from your position, as set forth by the criminal referral dated August 15th, 2025, from William Pulte, Director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, to Ms. Pamela Bondi, Attorney General of the United States. There is sufficient reason to believe that you have made false statements on more than one mortgage agreement. For example, as detailed in the criminal referral, you signed one document attesting that your property in Michigan would be your primary residence for the next year. 2 weeks later, you signed another document for a property in Georgia, stating that that would be your primary residence for the next year. It's inconceivable that you were not aware of your first commitment when making the second. Only Donald Trump could write something like this. It is impossible that you are indeed, you intended to honor both. The Federal Reserve Board has tremendous responsibility for setting interest rates and regulation on the Reserve and member banks. The American people must be able to have full confidence in honesty of the members entrusted with setting policy and overseeing the Federal Reserve. In light of your deceitful and potentially criminal conduct in a financial matter, they cannot and I do not have such confidence in your integrity. At a minimum, the conduct issued exhibits sort of gross negligence in financial transactions that calls into question your competence and your trustworthiness as a financial regulator. Only Donald Trump can write something like that. And as I've given credit to Bill Pulte, each and every time he's found a perpetrator of mortgage fraud in the show, doing an absolutely great job. We're going to take one more quick break here, folks. When we return, we're going to get to President Trump's executive order on burning the American flags. We're going to talk about the raids. Are there more raids coming for the deep staters, the folks who sought to undermine democracy? And Cracker Barrel, they're having an issue. We'll talk about it on the other side of this quick break, folks. Please stay with us. We're coming right back.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Thanks, everybody, for staying with us here on the Great America Show. So yesterday, President Trump signed an executive order going after those criminal thugs who burn the American flag. A lot of them not even American citizens, but feel the need to come here and burn our flag as they take jobs from the country, reap the benefits of a social security system, Medicare, Medicaid, hospitals, schooling, whatever it may be. These people come to this country and then disrespect it. And Donald Trump has quite honestly had enough of it. And we all have. Take a listen.
When you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy. In a way, both ways. There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry about them doing it. Do you want to discuss that?
Sure. So what the executive order does, sir, it charges your Department of Justice with investigating instances of flag burning, and then where there's evidence of criminal activity, where prosecution wouldn't fall afoul of the First Amendment, and instructs the Department of Justice to prosecute those who are engaged in these instances of flag burning.
And what the penalty is going to be if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they used that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement.
Incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, just like when I signed the Statute and Monument Act. 10 years in jail if you hurt any of our beautiful monuments. Everybody left town. They were gone. Never had a problem after that. It's pretty amazing. We stopped it. But this is something that's, I don't know, in a certain way, it's equally as important. Some people would say it's more important because the people in this country don't want to see our American flag burned and spit on. And by people that are, in many cases, paid agitators. They're paid by the radical left to do it. You talk to these people, they don't even know, half of them don't even know what they're doing. They say, I don't know, they gave me money to do this. I see the same things that you do. They're bad people. They're trying to destroy our nation. That's not working because I think our nation now is the most respected nation anywhere in the world by far. You saw that with the European leaders on Friday. You saw that with NATO, where they agreed to go from 2% no pay to 5% fully paid up, trillions of dollars paid, where they respect your president to a level that they jokingly call me the president of Europe. They call me the president of Europe, which is an honor. I like Europe, and I like those people. They're good people. They're great leaders. And we've never had a case where 7 plus really 28, essentially 38 countries were represented here the other day. 38 European countries were represented. European and other countries were represented, and it was a great meeting. But your country is respected again. I say it all the time. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Everybody said it. We had a dead country. We were not going to survive. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. So it's an honor to be involved. And this group has a lot to do with it, right behind me. Does anybody behind me have anything? Pam, would you like to say something?
Sure, President. Thank you for keeping D.C. safe.
Imagine that. Donald Trump, the president of all great Americans. Now, the Marxist left are crying that Donald Trump is going after people who want to burn flags. They're up in arms about it. They're terrified. Why would he go after anyone who wants to burn flags? Why would he do that? It's only the American flag. Well, why don't we ask the fella who got 15 years in jail for burning the gay flag? That's right, 15 years in jail in Iowa for burning the gay flag. Adolfo Martinez. Judge handed down a sentence of at least 15 years to a man who stole an LGBT pride flag from a church and burned it outside of a strip club. Because that's a hate crime, but burning the American flag and inciting violence on America is not a hate crime. It's just merely frowned upon. This is the logic that the Marxist Dems think is going to win them over the voters. It's going to, quite honestly, do the opposite. It's going to do the opposite. As I continue to say here on the Great America Show, it's the reason why they've been getting killed in elections, and they're going to continue to get killed. The raids. We saw John Bolton on Friday. Are more coming? Let's see what Donald Trump has to say about it.
Are more raids like that coming, sir? Are more raids like the one on John Bolton's house coming?
More raids? I don't know. You'd have to ask the Department of Justice. They raided my house, I can tell you that. They did a big raid on my house. They took away everything that wasn't pinned down, and they took away some of that, too. No, they raided Mar-a-Lago. They started that. These were bad people that we had in our government before. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They went into my wife's area. They went into my son's area, my young son. And what they did was a disgrace. But how did it work out? I see. We're in the overall. I guess it didn't work out too well for them, did it? They are bad people. They're sick. They're sick people. And they came in with their guns into Mar-a-Lago. like 98 people. I wasn't there. Fortunately, I wasn't there. But they are very evil, very sick people, that group. And if they would have won the election, this country wouldn't exist as we know it. This country would have been a failed country. And now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world by far. We are the hottest country in the world by far. Okay, another question.
There's no doubt about that. We are certainly the hottest country in the world. Then you guys raided Mar-a-Lago. You raided Melania's underwear drawer. You went after Barron Trump, 15, 16-year-old kid. What did you think was going to happen? What did you think? One of those people who could soon be facing the wheels of justice, Chris Christie, who decided to shut down a bridge in New York, connects New York and New Jersey, 2013, for political reasons. Donald Trump thinks he's guilty. Take a listen.
Look, Chris is a slob. Everybody knows it. I know Chris better than anybody in the room. I always felt he was guilty. But what he did is he took the George Washington Bridge, which is very serious. He closed down the George Washington Bridge. And you had medical people, you had ambulances caught up. This thing was closed down. And obviously he knew about it. But he blamed the young lady that worked for him and another person, and they got into a lot of trouble. She ultimately was, I don't know, exonerated, but she got out of it a little bit. But she went through hell. She was a young mother, nice person. I knew her a little bit. And another man went to jail, and Chris got off. And so when I listen to Chris speak his hate, I say, oh, what about the George Washington Bridge? Tell me about the George Washington Bridge. He blamed other people, but he knew all about it. So no, I don't know if they want to look at it. It's not for me. If they want to look at it, they can. You can ask Pam. I think we have other things to do, but I always thought he got away with murder.
Chris Christie, keep going on television and running your stupid mouth. Just like the rest of them, you're going to meet the wheels of justice. Folks, that's all for us today here on the Great America Show. We hope to see you back here tomorrow. Truth, Justice, and the American Way continues. Same time, same place tomorrow. Till then, may God bless you. May God bless America. May God bless the great Lou Dobbs. Have a great night, everybody.